Um, I think we'll just forego the participation norms. It's a small enough group that just holler if you need something. We're not going to stand on formality. Reminder that a NIC-Cast is a monthly webinar or interactive meeting designed to really share ideas and what we're thinking about and to build our community. And the NIC-Cast series is designed to build familiarity with the NIC design, as well as, again, build that community and shared vision. A reminder that our overall aim for MTEP 2.0 is to build this network of people who are actively engaged in doing an improvement process. And our goal is alignment to the AMTE standards with a specific focus on equity. The primary drivers are given here. And just to point out that this series really focuses on knowledge sharing, one of our primary drivers. And in particular, this session is going to focus in on this primary driver. The agendas will start with an overview of the MTEP and AMTE conferences. There'll be some time to brainstorm about how you can use the conferences to advance your goals and how we can help you, and then just some announcements at the end. So this is from the program announcement for the conference. And oh, thank you, Megan. Megan also put in a link to the NIC-Cast archives, which are on Open Canvas. I forgot to mention that. If you ever want to go back and see something from the past, it's there. The conference goals, which are in the announcement that's been posted, and if you want to give that link, I may have it on the next slide, is our goals are really couple-fold. For those who are engaged in MTEP already, it's really the focus is on that networking. But we also have a group of people who are new to MTEP, and our goal for them is for them to learn more about the network, how it might support their efforts, and, you know, nudge, nudge, maybe you should be a part of this group. In addition, we hope you'll gain insights about secondary mathematics teacher preparation and reflect on some of the critical issues that we're all facing. So how do we do this? The overall structure for the conference, if you're there in person, you will get a lovely dinner. And Megan, it's going to be very delicious, right?
Yes, we're doing a Mediterranean buffet.
Woohoo. And if you're participating virtually, you'll have to bring your own food. We'll kick off at 6 o'clock with a short opening session. We'll then have an Ignite session and then some breakout sessions and wrapping up by 8:30. Fortunately, it's the first day of the conference, so hopefully you're not burned out yet. If this would be on Saturday, you would have no brain cells left. The Ignite session should be a lot of fun. We have 6 speakers who are going to provide lively 5-minute stories about their experiences related to MTEP. And I see that one of our Ignite presenters just joined us, Jeff Hovermill, will be talking about becoming a new MTEP 2.0 team. So we're really looking forward to this. We're actually doing a PDSA cycle on this, Jeff. No pressure, but we'll see what the response is. But we're thinking this might be a good way to kind of do that quick storytelling about MTEP. Following that, at 7 o'clock, we'll go to breakout sessions. And again, there are these 2 tracks. For those who are already involved in MTEP, that's going to be option B. We'll have a series of working sessions. Option A is if you need more of a general introduction to MTEP 2.0 and its design, we will have a nice working session for those folks. All of these sessions are designed to be very open-ended and engaging and helping you to dig into the material. So with the working sessions, we developed a series of 11 themes based on an analysis of driver diagrams and PDSA cycle, which we put forward for a workshop in September called the Fun Workshop. I no longer even know what that means. It was fun. And we had a really good turnout for that. Of those 11 themes, 6 of them were discussed at the Fun. There were breakout rooms with 6 of those. Okay, thanks, Megan. Professional help, understanding, and networking. So there were 6 themes at the Fun Workshop, but a couple of them were kind of underrepresented. So we did a survey, which hopefully you responded to get a sense of what people were interested in talking about at this conference. And of the 6, the darkness of the font is some indication as to the popularity. So recruitment strategies was by far the largest. Equity, diversion, and inclusion and partnership building were in second. And then the others were a little bit lower, but the supporting graduates was a little bit higher. So we'll probably do 3 to 4 of these. We have a meeting of the planning group tomorrow, and so we'll have our final decisions on that. But that is just to give you a sense of what this is. And the whole goal is for you to get into groups and talk about what's going on. These are interactive sessions. There's no lecture involved. And the degree to which we can will be building off of the Fun Workshop. So that's pretty much the MTEP conference. Again, this is embedded in the AMTE workshop conference, which goes Thursday to Saturday. So there are about 6 sessions that are explicitly about MTEP, and we have a handout there for these sessions, and they're actually flagged in the AMTE program. They say MTEP session. In addition, the change coaches identified some other sessions that may be relevant. And Megan put both of these links into the chat. So you can see we have 6 sections that are explicitly about MTEP. Then if you click on this link, that takes you to this other spreadsheet, which shows you how other sessions may be helpful. One thing I thought was interesting is there were really very few sessions on recruitment, given how important this apparently is for many people. I just found that interesting. The ones in red are the MTEP sessions on the other sheet. Okay, so I think that is my cue to just see if there are any quick questions on any of the above. Hey, I think that was a pretty good Zoom wait.
It was. I think so.
So if you think of anything as we go along, feel free to put a question in the chat or to speak out. And with that, I will turn it over to Brian.
Sure. Gary, I want to say a couple things to launch this, and maybe could you go back to the agenda real briefly? So what we hope for tonight, to use a good chunk of the time, is just to brainstorm some ideas how this opportunity with both the MTEP conferences and the AMTE conference, how might we advance the work of our teams, our programs, utilizing this conference? Some of us have maybe one of us going, maybe some of us have a few people joining virtually, maybe some of us will have a couple or more people at the full AMTE conference. So I wanted to show this again to remind us that we have these Ignite sessions, sort of an energetic quick look at what a few sites are doing. And in the breakout sessions, I want to emphasize these are times where teams who have like interests can get together, share what they're doing, learn together, possibly even plan to do more shared work into the future. Here's really where the whole networked improvement community structure is meant to advance and help our work. Gary, if you don't mind going forward a couple slides again to this one, back one, that one. These 6 sessions, the work time, that hour and a half at the MTEP evening conference, the working session, we will have 3 or possibly 4 breakout groups. And the 3 or 4 are the ones that are, in essence, likely going to be the darkest in font color to be decided tomorrow. So knowing that there's that happening at MTEP and then the larger AMTE conference, Gary, go back now to my slide. I'm hoping we might have some conversations about how might our program team take advantage of the MTEP and AMTE conferences to advance our local work. I put 3 additional questions on here that you can skim through while I'm chatting and talking about what we'll do. We'll break into 2 smaller groups so everyone has a chance to share some ideas and listen to one another. And as you're working, it would be great to jot some ideas into the Jamboard. I would encourage you to have everyone jot into the Jamboard using the sticky note features. Not everybody's familiar with Jamboard, so my hope is that one of the 5 of you will be. But again, it's a place to brainstorm. How might we use the conferences? And for me, one of the questions is, do I ask my team members to meet over breakfast while we're there? Or do we meet shortly before and identify, here are some sessions that we all want to go to? Can we split some time up? But it might be different. It might be, here's a good chance for us to get together and have a meaningful conversation for an hour because we never see each other at work. I know that's not why we're supposed to go to conferences, but I know that's a reality for some of us. So this is really, I hope, a useful opportunity for everyone. I'm really looking forward to gaining some ideas. So without any further ado, I'm going to try to do a little pause in case there's a clarification question, but otherwise I think Megan's going to put us into breakout rooms. And Megan, you've already put a link to the Jamboard in there for us, right? In the chat.
Yes.
All right. We'll see everyone again in about 18 minutes to debrief our conversations. Okay, hi, welcome back. I think what would be super helpful is for us to spend just a little bit of time sharing out a couple ideas from the Jamboard. So if you took notes in group 1, that's Gary, would you mind giving a couple highlights? I don't feel you need to read all 8 of your slides, but a couple highlights. And at the same time, I encourage anyone to just go over to the Jamboard and glance through some of the other sticky notes.
Here's some of the things that we talked about. And a lot of it was around kind of getting people together and discussing the team priorities and not really trying to walk the line between encouraging or Darylyn said, gently nudging people to go to some sessions that would be helpful. But, you know, more just trying to get people to go to some of the sessions that are really relevant. And then I think we all kind of gathered on having some sort of a report back at the next team meeting. Just have everyone report back on the sessions they went to and what they learned. And There were also some thoughts about maybe gathering at the conference either Thursday night right after the conference or at the conference dinner on Thursday or Friday at the business lunch. Although the thing that I thought about now is that kind of freezes out the virtual folks because they probably won't be there, but at least that'll work for the in-person people. And the other thing I thought that was interesting was that maybe tying some of the discussion of what sessions to go to, tying that back to the driver diagram, your team's driver diagram might help to provide some focus. So Jeff, Daryl, and Brian, add in anything I forgot.
Well, I was just in the midst of sharing the spreadsheet, the Google sheet that was shared earlier. And so I think we'll, as we're meeting in advance, we'll try to look through that resource as well as the program and make a plan for who will go to what, and then make sure we have a time soon thereafter to reconvene and share notes and stuff.
All righty.
Would the note taker for group 2 be willing to share some highlights?
So our group had a very parallel kind of discussion. We talked about having a meeting with the local NIC before AMTE to talk about strategies like divide and conquer, spread across the sessions of interest, looking for recruitment oriented sessions to see what people are doing, or if it's the student support sessions, or in the case where we don't have a lot of people going, just looking for sessions that align with our with our NIC goals, with our driver diagram, and trying to get out of it to hear what other people are doing on the cutting edge. And then we talked some about the iTeach.net program, which is an alternative certified program that's actually CAPE accredited. And we talked about, in terms of recruitment, competing with places like this and trying to convince people that they want quality more than just cheap and fast.
That's an amazing challenge that I almost literally just got off a phone call about something very similar. I wonder, so any reactions or comments or new thoughts? We have a little time for some open discussion.
I realized that I was supposed to put people in the same groups for the second breakout session. I was wondering if everyone, if you remember which room, if you were in room 1 or room 2, could you put that in the chat and I'll fix that. Or you can assign yourselves. Maybe that would be easiest.
Yeah, why don't we just assign ourselves? I think that will be easiest.
Okay.
If people don't mind me hogging the microphone, a couple things have really stood out to me, and it's just sort of getting a chance to say it out loud and listening to other people helped refine some of the nuances. And one thing is it helped me to realize that many of my team members are not extremely familiar with the MTEP activities, structure, and so on. They know we're an MTEP team. They know that much of our work is guided by that. So in our team will have a meeting prior to going to MTEP just based on our monthly schedule. And it'll be a chance to reconnect us to our driver diagram and AIM. And I think that will be a nice segue. So when we meet all together on Thursday night, there's a little bit of, I know why I'm here. Oh, it's this MTEP group. MTEP, oh, that's kind of the work we do. And then we also talked about using our monthly meeting as an explicit follow-up to the MTEP session. And I just think that can be it's almost obvious that we should have been doing that, Darylyn, for the last 5 years, I guess is what I'm thinking right now. then I'm going to move us toward another question that we like to ask everyone to just spend a little bit less time, maybe 5 to 8 minutes on. And with this new grant, one of our big goals is for programs who are working on their own improvement, like how am I improving our recruitment? How are we doing our placements more effectively? How are we getting stronger partnerships with our school districts? That we're learning from one another. And that's something we're trying to learn how to do as a project, right? So we set the fun workshop as a space where teams who have similar interests can get together and share what they're doing. That's sort of the essence of our breakout session on Thursday evening at the MTEP conference, to get teams together to share what they're doing. So what we'd like to ask you, as Gary shares my next slide, because it's about to give the prompt, is in essence, what can MTEP back up one? What resources, opportunities, and or support might MTEP leadership provide to help advance your goals? So it's what might MTEP or the project as a whole be able to do to help us advance your local team goals? We'd like you to chat for about 8 minutes. Megan, if you could put us into the session. Go ahead, Gary.
First, Megan, you put the same Jamboard back in, I think.
That's fine. Just go further down the slides. Thanks, Gary, for reminding me to say that. So we'll use slides 6 and 7.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't realize that.
Well, thank you, everyone. Now's a great chance to, I think we should do a couple share outs again, but this time the person who recorded on the Jamboard can pick who they'd like to speak for the group. Ooh, that's kind of harsh, but Gary, if you would like to pick someone to represent group 1. I'm reading his lips and he picked Jeff, not Brian.
Jeff.
Well, thank you for taking the notes to scaffold my sharing. We talked about finding other teams that have similar goals and being able to share what we're doing with each other. And then we were just having a conversation about how we might be able to then organize that work into similar PDSA cycles that might lead to some data that we could analyze and share through dissemination efforts, or a couple of things we talked about. Trying to look at the notes to see if I missed anything. Feel free to jump in, others in our group.
I feel like I'm just going to re-say what you said, so forgive me, but I'm just highlighting, I'm intrigued by the potential for supporting these interest groups that are forming when people realize, oh, I also have an interest in data science for equity issues, and just helping to nurture those small groups. That caught me. Shall we do the same for group 2? Would the note taker be willing to volunteer someone? I suppose you can volunteer yourself if you're not terrible.
I mean, I could just say we talked some about the specifics, that some of what we're doing, it really takes more of maybe what MTEP can do is the in-depth conversation space to really talk the nitty-gritty details. Like, how did you get a new hire approved when the person who teaches secondary math methods has become the department chair and has less time now to do MTEP things, as a non-hypothetical example. Right. And the details like, how do you get the math courses added for teachers? Or how do you get math examples added to the math courses for math majors in addition to the chemistry and engineering examples that are there? But really talking and getting down to the details, like who do you convince? How do you institutionalize it so it doesn't just change next semester when someone else is teaching the course?
You remind me of something in our group. Is we recognize there's great value in having people together to talk. Which is, not the easiest thing for everyone to be able to do. So maybe there's more options or opportunities to be made. Gary, and I'm sorry, I talked on top of you.
Sorry, I was going to say, even with the adding education examples to math courses, how about adding math examples to education courses? So our students take these general nonsense courses, and all the examples are from English and social studies, never from math. And then, in fact, the instructors run away from the math examples. All right.
I have one other sort of big challenge that I think we're not doing a great job with as MTEP, and that is like, at least what I see in the working groups, nobody is really working on the messaging across administration in terms of supporting the preparation, teacher preparation. I'm pretty thankful that we have I don't know what's the best word, a wise dean about, and he recognizes how many people are involved in teacher preparation. But what's missing is the opportunity for a meaningful connection to the math ed program to think about those things. So he's doing a lot of that out there, but we don't have as meaningful as a connection I would like to have. Gary, I think to respect our time, we should move toward wrapping up. You do have a fair number of announcements, so I'm going to turn it over to you for any final words and then announcements.
All right, I'm going to do this fast. Just in case you forgot, we do have a conference coming up. This is a good one. Marilyn, do you want to say a word about the MSI meeting? You're muted.
I said word, I gotta go.
Okay.
She got her word in.
But
All right.
anyway, really excited about our next spring minority serving institution partnership building and informational meeting on March 1st. If you've attended the sessions before, we hope that you'll come again. We want to have some breakout sessions where we focus on people who have been there before, as well as new people, so that if people are working on becoming a team or becoming a part of a team, we want to help them as much as possible. Thank you all.
All right. So spread the word. The NIC-Casts are coming up, and all of this is in the newsletter as well. So just, we're not having one in February because of the conference, and the others are coming up. Okay, breaking news. As of yesterday, we are doing yet again, like last summer, an improvement science boot camp, June 10 and 12 via Zoom. And we really want to emphasize that this is for everyone. So even if you've been with NTEP for 14 years, you should still come to this and really work with your team in refreshing, revisiting your NIC charter, your NIC design. This will help you to prepare your team report. But also, we were thinking about, it's now been 4 years since MTEP 2.0 started. So as we're getting right about the point where it's time to rethink things and revisit, is your root cause analysis the same? Should some of your drivers be adjusting, and so on? So we're going to try to make it a really differentiated experience so different people with different needs can participate. And we're also hoping to perhaps have some opportunity for presentations. The newsletter, if you're not getting the newsletter, sign up for it. It's really great. And especially the coming events will keep you right on top of what's happening. So thanks everyone for being here. Here are just a few last things in case you don't have them, but I've had fun. And as I tell my students, that's the only thing that really matters. So thank you all for being here, and let us know if you have any other thoughts or insights.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good evening, good afternoon,
Morning.
good morning.
All right. Well, small group, but they were good discussions. I'm sorry that more people didn't show up. I kind of was worried about that because it's not the most evocative title.
Right.
I think it was worth doing, but I think it's like not something that is exciting necessarily, if that makes sense.
Exactly.